Okay, well, let's talk about full span ailerons or flaperons using ailerons and flaps, so 4 servos. It's relatively easy to drive the flaps as ailerons because we just create a mixer for that. However, when it comes to adding rates, differential and expo, it's a little bit trickier, but I seem to have cracked it. So here's what I've done. If we look at the aileron channel, they're always on, they're working, they have expo. Turn the volume up.
Expo 0%.
They have expo.
Expo 33%. Expo 0%.
They have rates. My rates are on, so I can
Aileron medium, aileron low, aileron medium, aileron high.
I can change my rates, and I also have differential on the wings. So
Aileron differential 5%. Aileron differential 0%.
so that all works well for the ailerons. But when it comes to the flaps, I've got two mixers. I've got the flap mix itself, and I've got an offset because the flaps again are braking flaps, so the servo center is below what would normally be flat or flush flaps with the ailerons. So this offset drives the flaps up into the correct position. Nevertheless, when we look at the flaps themselves, I'm basically using the aileron mix applied to the flaps. So I've called it flaps, it's always on, it's got expo just like the ailerons, it's got rates, the rates are on, it's got differential. Now the trick is that the flaps have a gross amount of movement compared to the ailerons, and so we need to tune them to travel less, although still run in tune with the ailerons. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a rate value, which is a variable called flap, and I can set that. So at the moment it's set to 40%. So the flaps are running at 40% of the value of the ailerons. And you can see the flaps are being driven here, and they're a lot lower, 40%. Now, if I switch my rates,
Aileron medium, aileron low,
you can see that the rates are working as well on the flaps.
Aileron medium, aileron high.
And what I'm doing here is I'm driving, I have another variable called flap rates. And the tricky thing is that I am creating that flap rate by reading the aileron rate and adding and applying a percentage to it. And the percentage I'm applying to it is this V flat, which is 40%. So if we have a look at our variables, we have aileron rates, so when the switch is up,
Aileron
middle,
medium, aileron low,
we have 180 and 60.
aileron medium, aileron high.
And when we look at the flap rate variable, I am saying that the value is equal to the aileron rates, and I'm applying an action which is always on, and it applies a percentage value. So it's applying 40% of value of 100% when the switch is high.
Aileron medium.
So when it's in the medium position, the aileron rates will be 80%, it'll be 40% of 80.
Aileron low.
And 60 in low position will be 40% of 60. And if we look at our screen here, we can see that we have an offset in our flaps currently. So to bring them up to level, they're 30% offset. And when they run, they're running at 40% of the value of the ailerons.
Aileron medium. Aileron high.
So in aileron high, we've got 100% of the channel, and we've added 40% of 100 on top of that 30, which gives us 70. So that's all correct. Now, when I bring the channel down,
Aileron medium.
it's brought it down
Aileron low.
and brought it down again. So now the flaps are running as full span flaps, flaperons, but they've also got differential
Aileron medium.
and
Aileron high.
rates and expo. And we can just double check the values again. If we go back into our flap channel and we apply some rates, you can see that
Expo, 30%.
we apply some expo, we can see we've got expo. So now we know we've got
Expo, 0%.
we've got rates, which are a percentage of the ailerons. We've got expo on all channels, and we have differential. So it's awesome.